Hi, I'm Carmen DeArdo, Senior Director, VSM R&D at Tasktop. I work on products to support organizations' project-to-product transformations in order to improve their time to market and predictability.
And hi, I'm Naomi Lurie, VP Product Marketing at Tasktop. At Tasktop, I help spread the word and support the adoption of value stream management as a fundamental discipline in the shift from project to product. And today, Carmen and I are going to talk to you about the 5 stages for navigating the shift from project to product. So let's dive in. According to Gartner, in a 2018 survey, 85% of respondents said they had adopted or had plans to adopt a product-centric model. That means the majority of enterprises were beginning this transition, motivated by a desire for faster delivery and a need to support the transformation to digital business. So here we are 4 years later, and just like everyone else, we were very curious to examine how organizations are traversing this complex multi-year process. Because this shift is literally our business here at Tasktop, we've been lucky enough to have front row seats to the transition at many of the world's largest enterprises. But in addition to that, we've also recently launched an assessment to complement what we were seeing boots on the ground with the industry's experience at large. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. So in today's talk, we're going to talk about the 5 stages of the shift. Like, what does the journey look like at a macro level? How do companies actually advance step by step from project to product? And then we're going to talk about the 7 dimensions of change that must be completed to reach maturity, and they weave through those stages. And then we'll share early findings from our research into the state of the industry. How advanced are organizations in operationalizing this new model and reaping its benefits? And finally, based on those findings, we're going to share some practical advice for getting through the hardest parts of the journey and how to avoid some anti-patterns and manage the cultural shift. We'll also be sharing during the presentation how you can self-assess where your organization is at in the shift, which stage you are, and how you can recenter your efforts to be able to advance to the next stages. So back in 2018, the industry didn't have tools designed to support the shift from project to product. Discussions about organizations' efforts to move to a product-based model were mostly based on collective knowledge, experiences, observations, and research. But here at Tasktop, since around the middle of 2019, we've been supporting organizations with the journey with a turnkey value stream management platform called Tasktop Viz, which you can see a bit of here, where we are explicitly measuring the shift for the entire technology portfolio. So thanks to Viz, we've had firsthand evidence from the world's largest organizations about their current state and the steps that they're taking to navigate the transition. And that intimate view of those transformations, including the flow metrics and insights that we have from their value streams, have allowed us to be able to describe the journey from project to product as 5 major stages. So turning to you, Carmen, maybe you can start by walking us through those stages at a high level.
Sure, Naomi. So the 5 stages of a project to product transformation are starting out, experimentation, expansion, operationalizing, and approaching maturity. So let's break that down a bit. In traditional IT organizations, your starting point is typically a situation where you're operating fully in a project model. That means all work, except perhaps run work, is done in projects with an annual funding model. As such, teams are constantly being formed, stormed, normed, and then just when they're becoming productive, disbanded. So lots of time is spent in project-related meetings. Application integrity is hard to manage. Dependencies aren't visible and also hard to manage, which leads to large batch-sized projects and long, highly coordinated release cycles. So what's your ticket out of stage 1? Well, it's being able to articulate and measure the negative business consequences of the current state and creating a hypothesis of the positive business outcomes you could achieve through a shift to a product operating model. This leads to step 2, experimentation, which is typically done on a well-contained, highly visible, external-facing product because it naturally lends itself to more rapid innovation, and there is a strong business incentive to speed up delivery. This is where you're learning through trial and error what your shift actually entails at an individual product or product line level and proving out the value. After experimentation, you start expanding, giving more and more portfolios the same treatment. What we often see at this stage is that principles are not necessarily applied evenly to all IT assets, like internal products and platforms, which means there's still plenty of process and product dependencies that prevent faster lead times. Operationalizing is where you work these things out, based on the understanding that every product needs an independent and rapid path to production and customer feedback within a quarter. Here's where metrics and OKRs emphasize achieving business outcomes and better flow. And finally, when you're approaching maturity, the last pieces all fall into place. You have more responsive and flexible funding models, and you're on shortening planning intervals. You have really well-defined interfaces between systems, patterns of self-service, and the capability for independent releases with dark launching options and a strong product management discipline. Now, even at Tasktop, which has always been in a product model, we're still getting better and better at doing it. Maturity in understanding all different types of products, not just the customer-facing ones.
That's a great overview, Carmen. In the book, Project to Product, which was published in 2018 by Mick Hurston, who's also Tasktop's CEO and co-founder, Mick laid out